Yo, what's going on, my guys? It's Dylan, and I am back again with another comic book review. Now, today, I want to talk about Joker, Killer Smile, Book 2. I got Book 1 here, too, because I don't believe I actually ever did a official review on the first one. I'm gonna gloss through the first issue a little bit. But honestly, man, if you were like me, and you weren't really feeling this first issue, it didn't really, like, hook you in, dude, you need to go pick this issue 2 up and then come back, holla at your boy, and listen to this review, because I was not feeling this first issue. I just wasn't. It didn't hook me in 100%. It was interesting. It had interesting ideas going for it. You start reading this and you're like, okay, so this isn't really fully about the Joker. It's more about like his therapist or whatever. And sorry, I got an itch in my dang nose. But we got Jeff Lemire, Andre Sorrentino, and Jordi Belair, come together to do this beautiful book. Like just the artwork in this is fantastic. I believe they're doing Gideon Falls together. I have only read the first issue on that. I have to go back and read that in the trades, but. So, this is basically him. You could tell something's off with his therapist, though, because it seems like he's kind of happy and he's got a good family, but there's just, the Joker kind of keeps like hinting at stuff like he knows about this guy's family and stuff. And most of the time you're most likely you're thinking like, yeah, man, he's a slimy motherfucker, man, and he figures shit out, man. Like, the Joker is like the crime boss of Gotham or whatever, and he figures this stuff out. But that ain't the case, man. Like I said, man, that first issue, it was good. It was definitely more setup, and he's interviewing him in prison. But this is what we are here to talk about, my guys. Book 2. I actually really love. I'm so glad I ended up going with the A cover when I picked up the first issue, just because they both kind of match or whatever. But it's different, obviously. But I really love this. If you've seen my weekly pickups video, this was my pick of the week. And from this being a book that I was like, should I drop it? But it's only 3 issues. I was going to give it a shot because I am a huge Batman fan. So if I'm a Batman fan, I'm a fucking huge Joker fan. So and plus, man, I want to get into more Jeff Lemire stuff. I always hear so many amazing things about this guy, and I just feel like I haven't really given him a shot. Like I'm not reading the Gideon Falls. I know there's some other things I just can't think of off the top of my head, but this artwork, man, is just brilliant. It is really cool. The colors just are perfect, and it starts off with him driving around, and he's like, there's 2 worlds. There's the world that most of us inhabit. This is the world that we live our day-to-day lives. For the sake of simplicity, let's call this the real world. But there's another world, and this other world is one that only very special people can see. And no, that's not right. They don't just see this other world. These special people actually live in it. They fully reside in it. And then you see it's like a little Arkham bar. It's like a little Arkham bar, and it's pretty cool. And he drives there, and what do we got? We got like, see, I gotta go and check that Gideon Falls, because I'm sure like just the style of this artwork I really dig. Really do dig it. I wasn't sure how I felt about like the Joker's look in it, but I like it. I really do. We got Killer Croc in here, cooking at the grill. We got Sub-Zero, or Mr. Freeze. Sorry, I almost said Sub-Zero. I think we got Grundy there. I can't tell who that is in the middle, because that's kind of a bummer. It looks like it actually might be Harvey Dent, like right here in the middle. I never even noticed that, but yeah, that's definitely Harvey Dent, Two-Face. And we got Bane, we got Scarecrow, we got Riddler, we got Pig, we got the Mad Hatter. I think that's his name, right? unless I'm fucking thinking of Alice in Wonderland. But yeah, the guy with the top hat or whatever. Damn, I think that's who he is. Let me know in the comments. I'm probably thinking of Alice in Wonderland, but I know it's something similar like that. And you know, he's like, and to the special people, this second world is as real as the one you and I live in. You know, so like, you start thinking, like, why is he at this bar? Why did this therapist go to this Arkham bar? Like, you start picking up on some things, man. And I really just thought that this book has like Fight Club mixed with the new Joaquin Phoenix Joker. Just like, obviously it's in its own way as well, completely, but I was just picking up vibes off of those like two things. And what was it? You know, he goes and sits down at the table and he's like, there are many names for this other world. Some call it madness, but I think that's just a reductive way of explaining something that's bigger than we normal people can understand. And then, you know, Joker walks up to him like, yo, what up, Doc? You miss me? And he's like, you shouldn't be here. Really? You sure it's me who's out of place here, Doc? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, right though? Right? Like, what the fuck is he doing there? What is he doing? And he's like, what is this place? And Joker just looks at him like, you know, and then Harley walks up. And so that was actually Harley. I couldn't tell who that was at first. But yeah, that's Harley. Harley is the waitress, because she doesn't really look like her. I guess maybe her face is slightly painted white. And he's like, here you go, Puddin'. Or she's like, here you go, Puddin'. He's like, I do believe the good doctor is getting hungry. Enjoy. And dude, like, come on, man. Look at the face painting. It's a little different, but the colors are exactly the same. The blue eyes, that's like the new Joker. You know what I'm saying? The Joaquin Phoenix version. Obviously, like, it's a little different. He's got the nose on and stuff. And, you know, I guess he's trying to feed him some brains. He's like, Benji, my boy, I have been looking forward to this like you would not believe. You know, there are two worlds. But what happens when you no longer know which one you're in? He's like, what I mean is, when you go mad, do you even realize it? So, I mean, you start picking up on stuff like, that's what I'm saying, the Fight Club stuff, you know, we'll get to it a little bit further. And he wakes up from a slumber, and he's like, no, and his wife wakes up, he's like, Ben, are you okay? And he's like, is this real? And she's like, what's going on? And she's like, what? Like, is this real? What do you mean? And he's like, nothing, it's time to get up anyways, don't worry about it. So, he starts like talking to his son, he's making his son breakfast, and he's like, you know, did you pack your indoor shoes or whatever? And he's like, I think so. His son goes to go into his basement, and he quickly freaks out, and he's like, no, like, don't ever go downstairs. Do not ever go down there. He's like, there's stuff down there I don't want you to see. And, you know, his dad kind of snaps at him, and his son is like a little timid after that. It felt like, you know, he's like, I'm sorry, Simon, it's just that's Daddy's office, and down there are things you shouldn't see, like I said. And, you know, we got some good artwork, but then we're like, you know, there are the two worlds in this place sits at the borderline between them. And he goes in, and he's like, he starts talking to the Joker, and he's like, you know, today I'd like to talk about your beginnings. Joker's like, which one? He's like, don't give me that, man. He's like, I know your game. Every time you talk about your origins, you got another story. Each one sounds so convincing too, but I don't want the stories. I want the truth. And he's like, the truth? He's like, trust me, Benji, you don't want the truth. Not yet, anyways. Stories are so much better. They make sense. When they make sense of things, they comfort us. Do these lies comfort you? Like, what is it that you're hiding, Joker? Like, or what are you, like, hiding from? And he's like, what scares you? And Joker's got that cheesy ass grin, like, yo, you don't want to know the truth. You just don't, dude. And he's like, what scares me? Showering with Croc is a bit of a dicey proposition, but other than that, not much. And he's like, come on, dude. Like, everyone fears something, like, even you, Joker. And he's like, are you afraid that if I know who you really are, that might make you vulnerable? And he's like, don't you want to get better? And Joker's like, get better. Like, yo, don't crack me up, bro. Like, come on, that's too funny, doing his crazy ha 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 ha, you know? And he's like, dude, he's like, I don't mean, you know, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at you, Benjamin. It's just that, well, you don't really think I'm the sick one, do you? So, like, right there, man, I'm telling you, like, Joker's, like, hitting him back and forth, like, I'm the sick one? You know what I'm saying? And you start putting some shit together. And he's like, nice try, dude. He's like, let's try something else. How about the first time you met him? Him? Whoever do you speak of, Benjamin? He's like, you know who. Batman, dude. Like, come on. And he's like, look around. Look where we are. And he's like, oh, you mean him? And he's like, well, don't tell Harley this, but he truly is my soulmate. And he's like, but that's boring. Let's talk about your soulmate, Ben. And he's like, why don't you tell me something? I would love to hear about your first time with Anna. And, you know, just him saying his wife's name, he's like, what? Like, how the fuck did you know my wife's name? He's like, I want to hear every detail, Ben, every sweet, sweet detail. Something to keep me warm at night, man. So speaking of sweet, maybe you should talk about little Simon instead. And he flips shit. He's like, how did you know? How did you know their names? Starts pounding on the door like he's gonna attack Joker. And security comes in like, Dr. Arnell, like, and he's like, Joker's like, uh-oh, looks like you're in trouble. And, you know, he's like, the session's over. Guard, lock this cell and the patient down. And, you know, whoever runs it, I don't know, I don't think it's Amanda Waller, but it looks, it's a black woman. She's not, no way, she's not Amanda Waller. Yeah, I know Marie. But, she's like, Ben, you cannot make physical contact. That's like the first thing you learned. And he's like, what, you didn't think the Joker was going to try to get in your head? Like, come on, Ben. And he's like, I know, man, I'm just tired and I'm getting nowhere with him. I really thought I could, but I guess I just need more time. 3 weeks isn't a lot for a case as extreme as his. And she's like, 3 weeks? Yeah, I mean, it's going to take months, years even. Ben, it's already been. And then, boom, she gets cut off. So already you're like, he's thinking he's been there for 3 weeks. Something's up, man. Something's up. Joker's saying this dude's like, you think I'm the crazy one? Like, it is just not made. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not coming together. And, you know, quickly she gets cut off because security's like, you know, Doctor, Clayface is stuck in the pipes again. And she's like, shit, man. Like, I gotta go. Take the day off, Doctor. Get your head right. We'll discuss this tomorrow. Peep on some of this art, because I gotta make sure y'all see some of this art, because this shit is badass. I mean, y'all should be reading, but I know some of my homies like Marquise, shout out to fam, some of y'all ain't always able to buy these books, so I want to make sure y'all, you know, get some spoilers in, because I know y'all enjoy it, for the few of you that aren't able to always buy these books. But, you know, we'll cut to, like, what's his name, and we'll cut to the doctor, and he's like eating dinner at home. He's like, when I step inside Arkham, I step into this other world. You know, and when I come home, I leave it behind. I cannot allow it to bleed over. I cannot allow the other world to touch this one. I cannot. And he's like, Sai, he's at the dinner. He's like, Sai, can you pass this, the salt? And we quickly see, like, boom. Like, just something is up, man. Like, the dude is, like, seeing things. Like, the dude ain't right in the head, man. Like, these talking Joker's messed up. Something's going on with this cat, bro. Something's going on. He's like, no. And he's like, you okay, Dad? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just not feeling well. Like, it's really been a long day. She's like, you know, honey, go clean up. And he's like, you sure? And he's like, maybe I'll go down to my office for a bit. And his wife's like, are you sure that's a good idea? And he's like, yeah, I think it is. I need to. So he steps down there and he's like, I want to hear. He's thinking of what Joker said to him earlier. I want to hear every detail, Ben, every sweet, sweet detail. He's like, how the fuck does he know? How did he know? How did he know their names? I never would have told him. He's thinking to himself, I would never say that. I've only been, in his head, I've only been treating him 3 weeks. And, you know, he's just going through all this stuff, like, trying to put it together. And he quickly leaves, and he's like, I gotta go back to the city. There's something I need. And the wife's like, you're scaring me. And the sun goes out into the rain. He's like, Dad, don't go, Dad. Like, and you know, he's like, I have to know. And he's like, and the son starts crying like, no you don't, it's better this way, I'm sorry. And then the dad goes, I'm sorry, like in the rain. And you're just like, it's better this way? What's better this way? You know what I mean? Because the kid doesn't know about his dad, his father. Like he keeps, like he said, he keeps that separate. He keeps those two worlds separate, or so we think. But he goes there late, makes up an excuse to security like, yeah, you know, I just gotta burn in the midnight oil, you know, I just need to catch up on some paperwork. And because he's like, you weren't supposed to log in tonight. So he goes down, and he's like, Harvey's like, Harvey's like, be careful, Doc. He's like, mind yourself, Harvey. He's like, well, I'm two minds, Doc. And he wakes Joker up. He's like, get up. And he's like, psh, man, I was having the most sublime dream, Benji. This better be good. And, you know, he's like, okay, it's that time, isn't it? The Joker goes, and he's like, shut up, dude. How did you know their names? My wife and son. I never told you. Didn't you? You sure about that? And he's like, no more games. Tell me, did you pay someone off? One of the guards? Now, Benji, you know that's not what happened. It's time. Let's cut to the punchline, shall we? And he's like, enough. You know, he's like, dude. He's like, tss. You know, Hutchins has warned you about this, Doctor. No touching, not unless I allow it. And he's like, shut up, dude. He's like, I've been treating you for 3 weeks. 3 weeks, and in that time, I have never told you the names of my family. He's like, ah, now we're getting somewhere. 3 weeks, you say? He's like, Benji, dear, you have been treating me for 3 years. And he's like, no, pounding on the door, no. And he's like, oh yes, and you know it's true too. Deep down, you know he's like, I know you do. Deep down, you know it's true. But that is not the best part, Benjamin. And he's like, no, stop it. Like, he's bursting in tears, like full-fledged, bawling. And he's like, I know Anna and Simon's names because you told me months ago. You told me right after Anna left you and took your son with her. And he's like, stop. Like, dude, like, I was like, oh my god. He, like, it just, like, it makes fucking perfect sense. I don't know, maybe other people didn't think so, but I didn't care for the first issue as much. I want to go back and read it one more time. But wow, I just really thought that it was just perfect. It was a perfect setup. You know, this is a weird book. Where'd you get this one? He starts all these scenes that we saw where you thought he was talking to his wife or his son. He was talking all by himself. They left him years ago, or like, I don't know, when did they say that they exactly left? Because he's like, you know it's true. And he's like Joker's just laughing in the background, just full-fledged laughing. And he's like, and so the blades and teeth of Mr. Smile's happy machine began to spin and spin. And he's like, I told you. Harvey Dent goes, I told you, man, be careful. And he's like, there is the world that most of us inhabit. This is the world where we live our day-to-day lives. For the sake of simplicity, let's call this the real world. And he races home. Anna gets into the house. Anna, Simon, you know, but there is another world, and this other world is one that only very special people can see. And to the special people, this second world is as real as the one you and I live in. There are two worlds, but what happens when you no longer know which one you live, which one you're in? Like, man, this book, the artwork was dark and shit. Knock, knock. Who's there? Boo. Boo-hoo. No need to cry. It's only a joke. And he walks to this mirror, and the mirror's got like a bunch of, like, it looks like a makeup mirror. And he's like, it's only a joke. Or only a joke. Boom. I fucking told you, man. Like, the shit going on in his head, it's like fucking Fight Club. It's like Tyler Durden, baby, and I'm a huge Fight Club fan. I love the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. Like, I wonder if that's exactly what he, like, based this all, like, this makeup off of. Like, it had to be. It had to be, like, something similar. Like, dude, I am so pumped. So it's like, what the fuck is going on? What's gonna happen for book 3? What is gonna happen? Dude, I don't know, and I can't wait. Like, Joker's got some competition, man. There's a new Joker in town or something. Like, what the fuck, dude? I mean, I'm excited. I am really excited. And you know, for issue 1 to not, like, it was a good book. It was a great book 1. It was just a big setup, and it wasn't what I expected. This issue, book 2, blew my socks back when I read this. I highly recommend it. If you passed on book 2 because you weren't feeling book 1 as well, please, you need to go back and check book 2 out. I think it is it's really worth it. It really is, and it's a great story, and it's something different. It's something different, you know? So, that's it for now, guys. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought, if you guys ended up passing on this, if book 1 made you not really feel it, and you just said, fuck, screw book 2. Let me know either way what you guys are thinking. You know, I always want to know what your thoughts are, but if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button on your way out, hitting that sub, and hitting that bell notification so you get all updates on upcoming videos, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace out, guys.